Welcome to episode 3 of me tracking my growth here on YouTube. I'm tracking my journey for 3 months. In these videos, I cover what's working on my channel, what things aren't working, and then based on what I learned in the current week, what I'm going to do for the upcoming week. So I won't keep you waiting. Let's jump right in for week 3. This week was tough. I had some travel during the weekend when I usually do my recording, and with everything that had to get done during the week, I never caught up. So I only posted one video this week. And as the week went on, I also did a community post. So you can see here, this is the one video that I posted. And this video was about week 2 in my challenge of how to grow on YouTube in 3 months. And here you can see the community post that I made during the week. It was an update for my audience to let them know that a video was coming. But at the moment, I was struggling to get that video out. And this post was a little bit of encouragement for myself, but also to encourage others who may be challenged with the same thing. So let's take a look at the metrics for this week. This week, you can see here that I had 186 views. This was 51% less than the prior 7 days. In last week's video, I also discussed seeing some drop in my channel across views, subscribers, and watch hours. This week for watch time hours, I had 9.3 hours. Now this was also a drop. So here we can see that it is 52% less than it was in the prior 7 days. And then lastly, for subscribers, I had -2 subscribers during this past week. There was a point where I noticed that I had lost 3 subscribers, and then within a day or two, I got an additional subscriber, so that helped me net out to the -2 that you see here. This is 122% less than in the prior 7 days. And that's considering last week also had a drop. Overall, you can see that there's a considerable slowdown that I'm experiencing on my channel. And if we look at what actually happened during the week, you can see things started with trending down, then things picked up a bit, and then it continued down again. And it wasn't until I posted this video right at the end before the week closed out where I saw a little bit of an increase. So overall, a drop in views with a little bit of pickup at the end. Watch time, very similar. And then with subscribers, it's a mix of going down, back up, down again, and then eventually back up with an additional subscriber and then closing out at 0. If we look at some of the additional metrics here, you can see that I had 7,305 in terms of impressions. In the prior week, I had 10,655. For click-through rate, I have 1.8%, whereas in the prior week, this was 3.5%. So quite a difference there. For average view duration, I had 3 minutes and 3 seconds, comparing that to the prior week where it was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And for average percentage viewed, I had 24.6%, whereas in the prior week, it was 26.8%. So across the board, all of these metrics are a bit down compared to where they were in the prior week. Now, in terms of what worked well, first, let's start looking at some of my top content this past week. So you can see the first video here is how to find your purpose. That was my top performing video in the past week. This one had 59 views, 3 minutes, 22 seconds for average view duration, and 29.4% for average percentage view. Based on the goal that I am aiming for, the average percentage viewed is a little bit lower than I'm looking for. I'm looking for something in the 30 to 40% range over the next 3 months. The views are lower than they usually are for a video in a week for me. Then we see that the second top performing video here was how to grow on YouTube in 3 months, episode 2. So this was the video posted last week, and it came in with 47 views for the week with 21.3% of average view percentage. So that's definitely lower than I'm looking for on average. And then you can see that the third one here is my video, how to keep posting on YouTube even if nobody watches. And this has been my top performing video. However, this week I only have 18 views, so it is significantly lower than how it usually is. This is 78% less than what it was last week. And then in prior weeks, I usually get hundreds of views on this video. So big difference there with this one. The next one I want to call out here is my video in this series, which was episode 1. So this is how to grow on YouTube in 3 months, episode 1. And this one had 43.6% in terms of average percentage viewed. Now that's great. This is definitely within the range that I'm looking for. And you can see here the view count is low. However, people are watching the video for a longer time, which is ultimately what I'm looking for. To close out this list, you see this video, how to keep posting on YouTube until you hit 25 videos. This was number 4. And then lastly was YouTube is not on easy mode, which came in at number 6. Based on this video, how to find your purpose, seeing that this video is coming in at number 1, I think that has to do with more of the storytelling aspect that I incorporated in this video. This was feedback that I incorporated from the prior week, and I was very intentional about making sure that it's not just getting straight to the fact, but there are different elements of storytelling and different aspects that people can relate to. The video also has an inspirational aspect to it, and I think that's something that resonates with my audience. Having people feel motivated, making them feel like they can achieve things are within their control. This video has elements of this. So I think this is one of the reasons why people can relate to it and why people enjoyed this video overall. And for episode 2 in my journey here to grow on YouTube over the next 3 months, I'm actually surprised that this one made number 2 on the list. I only posted this yesterday to close out this week. So I got it in right before it was pencils down. And even though it's been about 24 hours, it's still making it to the top of the list. Now, I must keep this in context though, because on an average week in prior weeks, based on the metrics for this video, it wouldn't be ranking as high. But given where my channel is now, knowing that it's had a slowdown, this video is surfacing to the top pretty quickly compared to some of the videos that have been posted for a week, 2 weeks, or even longer. And now for what didn't work so well. The fact that I didn't get to post all week and the one video that I posted came in right before it was time to close out the week, that's definitely something. That caused me engagement on the channel. It caused me the opportunity to continue to put content out there and have the algorithm see that I'm doing this on a consistent basis. And it also impacted the window for how much time I have to actually get some analytics. The analytics that I have for this video really just comes down to the last 24 hours, maybe a little bit more since I posted this video. So I can only imagine how this video would have performed if I posted it earlier in the week, followed it up with another video, then the community posts, had engagement in between there would certainly have been a lot more activity on my channel. The other point is the fact that I'm experiencing a second week of channel slowdown across the board. So this is something I talked about in my last video in episode 2, and I'm seeing it again this week. Losing subscribers this week and having a net negative number is also something that didn't go as planned. I usually see an increase in subscribers week after week, so this is a little bit different. Overall this week, I'm seeing lower engagement, lower comments on my videos, including on this video that I posted yesterday. So why is this happening? Well, definitely we know that if I had posted earlier in the week, I would have had more time to have engagement, to see how the video would perform, to have YouTube pick it up in the algorithm to get it out to additional people. Another thing that I'm curious about is in a prior video, I used ChatGPT to get some keywords, which I included as part of the descriptions and then also as hashtags. I'm not certain, but I'm curious if that can have some kind of implication on the performance of my channel. In terms of the slowdown on my channel, I can't say I know exactly what's causing that yet, but my way of addressing that is not just to blame the algorithm, but to think of ways that I can continue to add value in my content, make it engaging, find additional topics, and strategize in a way that the content resonates with my audience, and use that as a way to engage my audience and pick up some additional momentum. Going back to this upswing that we see here, just as I was closing out the week in terms of views and also in terms of watch time hours, one thing that I realized in this process is there are certain things that you can do to revive your channel. One is posting the video. That certainly helps. Another that I realized is engagement that you can do with your comments on your channel, but then also doing that on other videos and on other channels. If this is something you'd like me to elaborate on in an additional video, definitely let me know down in the comments. So what things am I looking to do in this upcoming week? One thing is to vary my filming location. I had this as a goal in my prior video, but because of how last week turned out, I didn't get a chance to do that. So for this coming week, I want to make sure that I am finding new ways, finding new places to record my videos and add an element of surprise for my audience and also some variety in there too. I also want to revisit my goal of enhancing my thumbnails. Now, I recently watched a couple of videos and I was reviewing this channel where the creator, for their thumbnails, it's only a picture. There's no words, there's nothing fancy. So I'm very curious about that. Would it work to just have a photo as my thumbnail without any additional editing, without any additional graphics on top of it? If you tried that on your channel and it's worked or it hasn't worked, let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious about this. This week, I also plan to do an additional community post. This is again to help continue the conversation with my audience, to continue the engagement in between, before, and after videos are posted. I'll also revisit adding keywords to my description. This was some feedback that I actually got from an audience member based on this last video that I posted. I didn't do it with episode 2 just because I was concerned with what I thought could be causing it when I used ChatGPT, but I'll revisit that again for future videos and make sure I incorporate keywords to make it easier to find my content when people are searching on YouTube. So that's it for week 3. Again, my goal here is to be consistent, to hold myself accountable, and to look at different ways I can grow my channel over the next 3 months. I hope you found this video insightful. If there's anything that you're doing in your own process that you'd like to share, let me know down in the comments. If something that I said resonated with you or you're interested in trying it yourself, or if you have any idea why I could be experiencing a channel slowdown at the moment, definitely let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If this inspires you to also track your growth and your journey on YouTube, I would love to know down in the comments. And if there are some things covered in this video that you're looking to implement in your own process, let me know as well. Before you leave, watch another video. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you next week.